It's not what you did, son. It's who you did it to.
Eric, the machine. The machine. You have no choice. You're in the machine. You're going down.
Keanu went through extensive training, probably 4 solid months.
And I don't mean like an hour a day, you know, doing push-ups and sit-ups. I mean 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. Gun training, martial arts training, driving training.
He's always first man there, last man to leave. And when it's time to hit the gym or hit a specific skill set, he's always there. He's always been incredibly involved, and he wants to be there.
Keanu's been trained by some of the best stuntmen in the business, some of the best fight coordinators in the business.
Chad and Dave for training hooked me up with John Valera and John Eusebio, who really were doing the choreography and training me.
2 more. Let's get 2 more. Let's drive on. Maybe you off balance him first. Yeah, do something like that. And then
Choreography is hard to do by yourself. When you choreograph, you usually have a few people that you trust. We brought in John Eusebio and John Valera, and then our younger guys as well. They put their heads together and they start designing sequences, and then we go in and sort of direct them and collaborate with them.
It's always kind of a daunting process when you're kind of dealing with someone that like knows acting just as well as any stunt guy working today.
go, and that's when you take that.
I've never worked with an actor who's willing to work that hard, train that hard. The guy's an animal.
We're just teaching him choreography pieces that will kind of be later integrated into his choreography.
We would go through techniques, jiu-jitsu, judo, I mean, really basic stuff because I didn't know anything.
Keanu's a consummate professional. He's super humble. He'll let himself be proud of himself a little bit, but I know in his head he always feels like he could have done it better.
He knows what movement looks good. He knows what looks best, that's strong for him.
Definitely choreographed to an actor's strengths. We knew how he moves, so we just choreograph it, and we wouldn't have to spend hours and hours training him how to move that way.
We kind of watch and then see what he does best, and then we just figure out, okay, that movement looks best for him here, and then we'll incorporate that to something that he'll obviously use later in the movie. Some things that are tactically correct might not look great on screen, so you kind of have to have some basis of realism and then change it for the movie audience.
He carved out his entire summer to become John Wick. At least in the movies I've worked on as a producer, I've never seen a movie star give so much commitment of his time before a movie actually started. And that training has paid off because the stuff he's doing in this movie is just incredible.
It's better to have the actor trained up with a variety of techniques that we can re-choreograph if we have to. And Keanu went through extensive training.
When you see Keanu fight or do some of the gun fu or drive, it's Keanu Reeves sliding a car, it's Keanu Reeves doing judo, it's Keanu Reeves doing jiu-jitsu. It's Keanu doing what a man that would be his character would do.
Because Keanu's the kind of guy, too, where, like, as we're writing the script, he's like, you know, I should fall 4 stories and I'll do that. You know, instead of 1 car blowing up, make it 15 and I'll be in the mixed.
That was fun training him in that process, you know, and all the other guys that were in it, you know, some of them were a little nervous at first, but, you know, in the end, I think everything worked out pretty good.
They were such wonderful people and really patient, and the instruction I got was first-rate, world-class.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Keanu's one of the toughest, or at least the most enduring or persevering cast member that we ever worked with.
There's a lot of action. The story is expressed in that action, and it's very much hung on this central character that is played by Keanu.
He's one of probably the hardest working people I've ever worked with. You know, he's so devoted to it. He's in there doing all of these sequences.
Keanu has obviously proven himself. He's like the comeback kid.
Son, I might help.
He has like that kind of gift, and I think people are kind of fascinated by him.
He's capable, and he's cool, and he can do the work. He can do the action sequences.
Knowing that Keanu was involved in it, that just made it, that was the icing on the cake.
He's an action icon, so, I mean, a lot of us grew up watching his movies.
I think stuntmen in general are maybe have a bit of ADD. They don't like to sit still for very long. They have a hard time focusing on one thing. It's kind of how most of us are. I definitely make movies for audiences, you know, we're trying to entertain people. At least that's what I want to do, is give people something to go see for 2.5 hours and, you know, lose themselves in it and enjoy it and entertain them.
Darren Prescott, who is our contemporary in action world, we brought him on to do the car stuff. And we brought him on specifically to train Keanu to do his own stuff.
Basic stuff like 180s, 90s, 45s, 180 burnout, do some drifting.
We brought Keanu out, trained him how to drive. He's a phenomenal driver and stunt driver, and that allowed us to be able to put him in a lot more of the shots. He never, in all our stunt driver training and stuff, he never blew through his mark. He never gave me any concern or any reason to think he couldn't do this stuff. And a lot of people just never get it, and he gets in. I think he really loves it. I think he really enjoys the driving. In one shot, Keanu is going to drive up and basically slide his car into Avi. So we wanted a shot where Keanu would slide a 90 right up into camera. And he, from 100 yards away, comes speeding up at the Navy Yard. If anything went wrong, his passenger side is a 50-foot drop. If Keanu goes to the right, he's dropping 50 feet, he's done to concrete. You're not going to walk away from that.
Give profile, we say 3, 2, 1, and wham.
He did his 90 so good that because he was perfect on his mark, we were able to push right inside the car, right up to Keanu into an extreme close-up. There's a bit of apprehension when we were filming out there, but it came out great. There's only a few other actors that I've worked with that I can put in this class, and Keanu's the top of the class.
You rarely see an actor that does that much. We wanted to make sure that we photographed it so you knew he was doing it.
We tried to think outside the box and go a little different, and instead of doing a big car chase, we ended up using Wick's car as a weapon.
We designed something that was a little bit more car, gun, foo than your normal speed, bash 'em up thing. And so, like, John's using his car and the vehicle to take out guys, hit them, shoot them through the roof, you know, drift 90 around them. It's fun.
Trio.
I had the chance to work with tactical pistol, long gun.
We wanted to take this sort of practical grappling martial arts and mix the guns with it. Close quarters, guns, and judo. We get to see it for the first time. This idea of gun fu, as choreographers, that seemed interesting to us.
It's basically kung fu with guns. We try to make it real flowy and interesting. However, there's a fine line between gun fu and gun porn, where we've gone over the edge and we have excessive gun killing. We're constantly walking that fine line, looking for something that's interesting and different, and trying to bring something cool to the screen. With this, with John Wick, with Chad and Dave's background, it was just a really open forum. You know, it's really collaborative. It really allowed us to bring together all of our stunt experience and try to do things that we have never seen or done before.
It first started with Chad, who wanted Keanu to, be different than all his other films.
Chad and Dave were interested in introducing jiu-jitsu and judo to the character.
We chose a core of a judo, jiu-jitsu kind of background. We wanted to just show off Keanu and show that, look, this is Keanu Reeves, he's gonna do his own stuff. He's a skill he knows. This is how we kind of see it.
We tried to really keep it pure so that the true jiu-jitsu fans and judo fans will see moves in there and we will have done them justice. Jiu-jitsu traditionally is hard to capture on film because it's a lot of close ground fighting. It doesn't look like a lot to an untrained eye.
The visual flair, we like the guy's body flying in the air, guy spiking on the ground. So we're trying to get that feel of it. As soon as he grabs you, he's gonna try to dump you on your head, finish it quick.
It's a different pace for the kind of action that we only do. And, when you first watch it, you're like, oh my God, why didn't we do that? But we kind of like it. It's refreshing to see what a human being can do.
Keanu and Michael Nyquist did a fight, basically the finale fight, on a bridge at night in the rain in freezing cold temperatures. I mean, it was amazing.
We shot it in the rain in the winter on this great location. It was a good kind of hard. And so, yeah, it was physically taxing, but the sequence itself was so cool, you know, in such a, you know, leading up to this battle. Viggo says, no more bullets, John. Just you and me. Just you and me.
I play Viggo. He comes from Kiev. And in Russia, they have the Sambo kind of, it's a jiu-jitsu Russian way of wrestling. When I came to New York before we started shooting, I met the stunt group. You use stunt work in a way of building up a character. What kind of techniques we have or whatever and how we do it as a dialogue, you know? And I'm very impressed with these guys.
We're trying to make him like kind of like the crafty kind of veteran style, like crafty kind of sneaky old man that used to run with those things when he was younger, but now that he's older, he has to be a little bit sneaky and kind of like using dirty tricks all the time. Like everything's based off something that's a real move, but I think when you choreograph for movies and TV, I mean, you always have to choreograph for camera. We have to take what's real and then we kind of like alter it a little bit for cinematic purposes. Because some things that are necessarily realistic and proper they don't show up well on screen. If you're doing it on somebody, they can feel the technique, but the audience can only see it, and they can only read the pain from the person he's doing it on.
Jonathan Eusebio is the fight coordinator, and he's been training Keanu and Adrian and Michael and everyone else who has a fight on this show, and choreographing and teaching them the choreography and setting these fights up. He's such a good choreographer and performer. He's integral to the team. It's great having him here.
This has to be like, the next guy would be Carlos, yeah. Right? I say for me, last couple of years, I've been coordinating more than I have performing. So eventually you want to kind of progress whatever the next phase of your career is.
He's really humble. He's definitely a martial artist. He kind of lives by that code, I guess, or that respect. He really looks up to Chad, and Chad relies on him quite a bit.
The lead villain sends out a hit squad basically to take Wick out.
We have some of the Russian hitmen going in to Keanu's house, and they're trying to capture him.
They go in there expecting it to be easy kill, and he's kind of waiting for them already. It's the first time in the film that we see what he's capable of.
Keanu outsmarts him, and he uses some of his gun skills and a little bit of gun fu.
He's trapping them. He'll take out a squad, like 2-3 guys, quietly in one side of the house, advance his way to the other side of the house, and then take on the rest. Eventually, all hell breaks loose, and the last remaining guys come in the house, and he just kind of go for broke style after that.
Man, it's one fight after another. My favorite's the Perkins fight. I think it's really cool. It's different.
He comes back, he's injured, and he's dealing with, basically, she's like the top hit woman in his kind of world.
Action!
She goes to kill him. It's basically a big drag-out brawl.
Perkins?
I thought I let myself in. So hard, maybe the hardest thing I've ever done. They really wanted to have her use all of her body weight, which is mainly jiu-jitsu, you know, jumping on his back. She's kind of like a spider or snake, constantly moving around him.
He can't get her off him, so she's just relentless. Adrian, as a woman, looks physically formidable. And she's tall, so she looks like physically like she can kind of hang.
Adrian came to us with some fight experience. She moves really well. She gets the choreography really quick, and she's tough and doesn't complain. So she fit in well with the Wick formula.
Renee Moneymaker, she's our femme fatale. She has some good stuff in this one. Anywhere between throwing yourself through the window or me and Keanu literally just back slamming her into a TV in the wall. She took some hard hits.
Oh. I get a lot of stunt guys with their teeth, right?
No, not really.
No?
Surprising.
Only bumps and bruises. Hopefully I can keep that up. Knock on wood.
Her and Keanu beat the hell out of each other for 2 days.
I mean, we're breaking shelves, breaking furniture. Just a lot of breaking going on in there.
Not as much as I wanted, but they smash up quite a bit of stuff.
I guess we can start here. It's not too bad.
A lot of clawing. It was really dirty, very realistic.
It was fun. It was a fun fight to do. There was some great jiu-jitsu in there, and It looked really cool.
You have to do something that's different. And I hope with John Wick, we've created a world that's different and we've like approached the project in a different way and it'll feel fresh and unique, and that's all you can hope for, I think.